You walk through the front door, the house is quiet. A little too quiet. Then you see it. The remains of a throw pillow. Its fluffy innards scattered across the living room floor like a bizarre indoor snowstorm. And over in the corner, your dog. He's not looking at you, but you can feel his eyes on you. His head is low, his ears are back, his tail is tucked so far between his legs it's practically disappeared. You sigh, put your hands on your hips, and say his name in that tone. That low, disappointed tone. And that's when he gives you the look. The squinty eyes. The averted gaze, the classic, undeniable face of a guilty dog. We've all seen it. We all know what it means. But what if I told you that everything you think you know about that look is wrong? That look isn't guilt. It's not an apology. It's not a confession. It is one of the biggest, most persistent, and most damaging misunderstandings between humans and their canine companions. And today, we're going to translate what your dog is really saying when they give you that so-called guilty look. The truth will not only change how you see your dog, but it might just change your entire relationship. First, we have to understand a very powerful human tendency called anthropomorphism. It's a big word for a simple idea. We project human emotions, motivations, and thoughts onto non-human things, especially our pets. We see them as little furry people in four-legged suits. We assume that because we would feel guilty after making a mess, they must feel guilty too. But dogs don't have the same complex social emotions as humans, like guilt, shame, or spite. These emotions require a sophisticated level of self-awareness and an understanding of moral codes, right versus wrong. While dogs are incredibly intelligent and emotionally rich, their world is more about immediate cause and effect, association, and pack dynamics. Science actually backs this up. In 2009, dog cognition researcher Dr. Alexandra Horowitz conducted a fascinating study. She set up a scenario where dogs were tempted by a treat they were told not to eat. The twist was that the owners didn't know if their dog had actually eaten the forbidden treat or not. The owners were brought back into the room and told, sometimes truthfully and sometimes not, whether their dog had misbehaved. What happened next was incredible. The dogs who showed the strongest guilty behaviors were not necessarily the ones who had actually eaten the treat. Instead, the guiltiest looking dogs were the ones whose owners scolded them, regardless of whether they were innocent or not. The study concluded that the guilty look is simply a response to the owner's cue. It's not a sign of a moral failing, it's a learned behavior. Your dog isn't reacting to the memory of shredding a pillow 3 hours ago. They are reacting to your body language, your tone of voice, and your angry energy in this very moment. They've learned that when you stand a certain way and use that specific tone, something unpleasant is about to happen. So, if it's not guilt, what is it? Let's break down the individual components of the look and translate them from human misunderstanding to canine fact. First, let's talk about the overall posture. The lowered head, the tucked tail, the cowering stance. In our world, this looks like shame. In the dog world, this is a crystal clear broadcast of something else entirely. Appeasement. Appeasement gestures are a vital part of canine communication. They are social signals designed to diffuse tension, stop a potential conflict before it starts, and show a higher-ranking individual that they are not a threat. When your dog sees you are upset, your jaw is tight, your posture is stiff, your voice is sharp, their instincts kick in. They are essentially saying, I see you are upset. I am small and not a danger to you. Please do not direct that negative energy at me. Let's restore peace to the pack. It's a brilliant, ancient survival strategy for living in a social group. They're not confessing to a crime. They are preemptively waving a white flag to their beloved, but currently terrifying, pack leader. Next, let's look at the eyes. The famous averted gaze. The refusal to make eye contact. To us, this screams, I can't look you in the eye because I'm guilty. We interpret it as a classic sign of dishonesty. But in the canine kingdom, the rules of eye contact are completely different. Direct, sustained eye contact is often seen as a challenge or a threat. It's confrontational. When a dog deliberately looks away from another dog, or from you, it is an active gesture of deference. It's a polite way of saying, I respect your authority. I am not challenging you. So when you are standing over them, fuming about the chewed-up shoe, and they refuse to meet your gaze, they aren't hiding their guilt. They are showing you respect in the most profound way they know how. They are trying to calm you down by intentionally making themselves look as non-threatening as possible. They are de-escalating a situation that, from their perspective, has suddenly become tense and frightening for reasons they can't quite connect to an action they took hours ago. Then there's the FIA, whale eye, where they look away but you can still see the whites of their eyes. This is a telltale sign of anxiety and stress. They want to keep an eye on you, the source of the scary energy. But they also know that direct eye contact is a bad idea. This internal conflict creates that specific, stressed out look. So we've established that what we see as guilt is actually a complex cocktail of appeasement, deference, and fear. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Your dog's guilty performance isn't just a reaction to your anger in the moment. It is also a product of their incredible ability to form associations. Dogs are masters of associative learning. This means they learn that when a specific thing is present, like the remains of a garbage can tipped over, a specific reaction from you is likely to follow. They don't connect their past action of tipping it over with your current anger. They connect the current evidence of the mess with your current angry reaction. Your dog isn't thinking, oh no, I'm in trouble for what I did. They're thinking, oh no, there's a mess on the floor, and my human is making that scary face again. Something bad is about to happen to me. But here's where the story takes a much darker turn. What if I told you that by misinterpreting this look, we are not just getting it wrong, we are actively, and perhaps permanently, damaging the trust our dogs have in us? What if that guilty look is actually the first sign of a much deeper, more troubling problem that we have created? Think about it. From your dog's perspective, you are the center of their universe. You are their source of food, comfort, safety, and love. You are their trusted leader. Now, imagine you come home and find a chewed pillow. Your dog, who is happily snoozing, trots over to greet you. But instead of a happy greeting, you transform into a loud, intimidating, and unpredictable figure of anger. Because the dog cannot connect your anger to an action they took hours ago, your punishment seems completely random. It comes out of nowhere. You have suddenly become unsafe. And this is the core of the problem. When we punish a dog for a past transgression, we're not teaching them that chewing the pillow is wrong. We are teaching them that we are unpredictable and capable of sudden, terrifying rage for no discernible reason. Every time this happens, a little piece of that sacred bond of trust is chipped away. Your dog's guilty look is now more than just appeasement. It's a sign of chronic anxiety. They are learning that the sight of a mess, combined with your arrival, predicts a scary event. They are now living in a state of uncertainty, trying to read your cues to figure out if you are the loving caregiver or the frightening monster. This creates a psychological conflict known as a poisoned cue. The very person who is supposed to be their safe space, you, is also the source of their fear. So the next time you see that lowered head and tucked tail, try to see beyond the guilt. You are not seeing a confession. You are seeing a desperate attempt to navigate a confusing and frightening social situation. You are seeing a creature who loves you, but is also becoming afraid of you. But this raises an even more profound and unsettling question. If we are teaching our dogs to fear our reactions, what else are we unintentionally teaching them? We're teaching them that their own language is invalid. We teach them that a growl, their clearest way of saying, "I am scared, please stop," is an act of aggression to be punished, not a cry for help to be understood. We teach them that jumping up is a crime of dominance, not an explosion of pure joy at our return. We punish the symptom, and in doing so, we completely miss the cause. Every time we punish a signal instead of addressing the feeling behind it, we are telling our dogs that it is not safe to communicate with us. A dog who is punished for growling doesn't magically become comfortable. It simply learns that its warning system is broken. It learns that the human it trusts most will not listen, so it stops warning. And this, right here, is how we accidentally create the dogs that bite out of nowhere. It never comes from nowhere. It comes from a place of silence we forced upon them. But this is not a story about our failures. It is an invitation to change the question, to stop asking our dogs to understand English, and to start learning how to understand dog. That guilty look is not the end of the conversation. It is the beginning. It is your dog's desperate plea. I see you are upset. I don't know why, but I know you are the center of my world, and your anger is terrifying. Please, let's make it stop. The bond we share with them is not forged in perfect obedience. It is forged in these small, quiet moments of understanding. It's in the decision to put down the chewed-up shoe, take a deep breath, and see the scared, confused creature in front of you who is trying its very best to navigate our strange, human world. It's about replacing our frustration with empathy, our anger with curiosity. This is where the real magic lies. True leadership is not about dominance. It is about trust. It's about becoming the one your dog can always turn to, especially when they are afraid. It's about building a bond so strong that guilty look of fear is replaced by a look of unwavering faith. If you believe in replacing command with communication and fear with friendship, if you want to understand the incredible mind of the animal you share your life with, then join our pack. Subscribe to Kines.